This is a synopsis of a wine glass rack slash wine flight carrier thing that I made as a wedding gift for some friends, and I made 7 of them for a bar in town that I talked about in my shop video, and that's what it's all about. The bar wanted them so that they could, do, instead of a beer flight where you could taste a bunch of beers, they wanted to be able to have people taste a bunch of wine. So she commissioned me to make, she wanted 12 of them. I said, why don't we make, or 14 of them, why don't we make 7, see how they do. I don't know how many she sold, but I haven't gotten the call to make the other half. So in any event, yeah, it holds it pretty well. This is the overall design tossed around. This is kind of a sexed up version of the one that I made for the bar, which, 4 legs with a little point down the bottom, 3/8 square bar, forged to a flat point and then scrolled with a twist, and then kind of just a little return half scroll, whatever you want to call it. These are the cradle pieces, forged out to a point, scrolled to be, round and hold a wine glass. This one's made so that it, they stick out a little bit further than the original, because I think she has, the recipient has bigger goblet style wine glasses, so it can hold large and small. So yeah, basically figured out the height that I wanted, so that if a glass is setting here, that if you put another glass here, the bottom of the glass wouldn't interfere with the cup portion of the glass next to it, and spiraled around the square rod, which just is quarter-inch round bar, quarter-inch square bar. Wow, it's so lighting's terrible. That little scroll, same thing, forged to a square point, or a flat point, flat taper, scrolled. And then the top portion, when I was making, a bunch of these, it was imperative that everything looked the same. So the top portion, I was able to forge out that point, do the scroll by hand, and then put it in there, heat it up, scroll it right around so it was the same scroll every time, and then just hand forge the back bend. Heat it up again, heat the whole thing, quench the top, and then forge over the horn this back bend. The cradle portions, figured out the length, circumference that I needed, cut the rod to length, shorted it about a quarter of an inch or so, and then forged these little tapers. And then in between this and that, discovered anti-spatter spray, which is pretty sweet. Scrolled those, then I was able to put it in this jig, which I kind of touched on in the last one, but was able to put this straight bar in there, and then just easily scroll it around with the scroll forks to make sure that they were all the same size, make sure it was round so that the glass would sit straight. And then I should be showing you how to do this for you newbies, but then inevitably it's going to be out of alignment, so you just lay it down on the anvil, bang 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 bang, and it trues it up. So that was those cradles. Then just quick tack weld the little mounting bars on. For the legs, which you've got some leftovers here from the original order. The legs, the first scroll, which I swear I left one for myself. Okay, found them. First scroll was for the legs, again 3/8 was forged to a flat taper, out of focus, flat taper, hand forged, which I'm sure you've all seen that be done, how to just start a scroll. Then came over, took a second heat, came over, which this scroll jig isn't ideal, but it worked. Put it in there, heat from here, quench the first turn, quench to about here so that it doesn't deform, and you've got heat through the bar here, and then I could just bend it around. So it bend around, boom, boom, boom. That was your second heat. So that got me to about there. And then completed the scroll to make, you know, that jobby. Then heat the rest of the bar, put it in the vise, and scroll, you know, did the twist with this bad boy, which was another garage sale pickups, an old, not really great set of whatchamajiggers, wrench, and welded a piece of scrap bar on there, and it's a good little pair of twist pliers. Twist wrench. Oop. This was actually originally to make the bend. The legs were going to be higher and have a, you know, fancy deal up there, but ultimately decided that wasn't really good because I wanted a wide base, because, you know, it's relatively tall. The base is got some weight to it, but it's not, you know, seriously heavy, and the last thing you want is for this thing to tip over. So you know, decided the width from a longer run, and I had already cut all the bar and started the scroll and all that jazz. So I got the width in the base, and it's really, you'd be hard pressed to shake a glass out of it. So what else? Yeah, so the in order to get to make sure that the width, this 3/8, was able to all be tacked together to quarter square. A nice little twist. I just cut little nuggets of the 3/8, welded it to the bottom, had enough heat in the bar still to forge it back to square. Didn't have to grind any of the welds or anything. Put a little point on it, and then just, you know, kind of roughly welded this, which I'll file those to be clean. But honestly, once you paint it, you don't even see them. But you know, I'll clean it up, wire brush it, that kind of, you know, that thing, and yeah, give it a coat of black industrial Rust-Oleum paint, and they hold up. Originally I was going to get them powder coated, but I figured, you know, if the bar was banging them and chipping them, then they'd have to go back out to powder coat, and you know, they'd have to be sandblasted and all that. Whereas if they're just scratched, the bar could just, you know, she could spray paint them. Put a little piece of black felt on the bottom of each one of those to not scratch the bar, and voila. So yeah, so that's it. I feel like I'm leaving some stuff out. Oh, so as far as how to get the distance, again, just measured kind of by eye and laid it out on a drawing. Figured out what the distance had to be, literally traced the wine glass to figure out what the separation distance was. Then used a punch, small punch, just to mark the center where I was going to tack these on, and then that gave me, you know, where I could do my twist. So I clamped it about a ½ an inch shy of that, did the twist for each one, and then was able just to literally tack them on. As far as the cradle's concerned, tack the top, hold it in place where I think, you know, is level and that kind of thing, tack the top on. Then was able to come in and adjust, you know, perpendicular, make sure it was square this way, up and down, and side to side, so that it was completely perfectly in line with the legs and that the bar was centered. And then once you get that square, go ahead and tack on the bottom. And they're sturdy. You know, they're not holding a ton of weight, and you know, it doesn't wobble around too much. There's not really any risk of flopping down. Again, anti-spatter spray works great. Taking the spatter off, you know, again, I'm learning, as I'm sure you are. Anti-spatter spray goes a long way in saving you cleanup time, especially if you've got twists, things of that nature, detail, and inside these scrolls, spatter gets everywhere. So to try and clean that up, you're either a long time with a file, or yeah, pretty much that, a long time with a file if they don't chip off. So, you know, it saves you a lot of headache. So I think that's it. Wine cradle. And I'll once it's all cleaned up and painted, I'll show some either photos or a video of what it looks like all cleaned up, filled with glasses. So have at it. Cheers.